So my project is called Lightwork. So I want to talk a little bit about it first. In the application for the residency, we needed to come up with an app or an idea or whatever you wanted to build. And one of the things that I wanted to do was, think about what it is that people are missing from, how to intro into Lightning Network as well as Bitcoin. And so my thought process was, I want to introduce people to Lightning, so it has to be something easy, not only to work with, but also something familiar. It can't be too complicated to use. There's also this notion that people see crypto assets and more specifically Bitcoin as investments, and so they're not really willing to, go through the hurdles to buy it to then spend it. People hold it and keep it to themselves. So I want to change that notion that if you get compensated for work in that currency, in that crypto asset, you're more willing to spend it. 3 would be incentivizing some type of learning. How can we create an incentive structure so that you're earning that money and you're now having to use that money, but you need to learn how to use it. And so you touches on point 4, which is you're introing to the new financial system. So how can we put those two things together? And then it had to be hackable in a week, so it couldn't be too complicated. So I came up with Lightwork, catchy name, but it's meant to be a job board for micro tasks. It doesn't have to be micro. I think as the network grows, we could see other use cases. But the main issue is you can't be an arbiter of completion of the tasks. If a task can be, subjective in the sense that it might be completed or not, then I'm an arbiter in the middle there, and I can't do that. So it has to be binary. The first, use case that I thought of was surveys. So answering questions, answering surveys would be, something that you complete, and that's the end of it. I have other ideas that I'll discuss in the future. And it touches on the other 2 points that I brought up. It incentivizes the learning, given that once you complete those surveys, you'll be able to earn some Bitcoin in this case, and you'll want to eventually withdraw it and use it somewhere else, or you might want to use it in the platform itself. So you're entering to the new system. So I'm going to demo it, and it looks really blown up here, so I don't know if it's really dark, so you can't see it. But I'm primarily a full stack developer, really focused on front end, so I tried to make this as pretty as I could very quickly. And I'm taking a lot of ideas from y'all's, even the disclaimer in the front. But essentially you land on this page and it gives you a disclaimer about its early stages and so forth. You can learn more. It'll take you to an about page about the Lightwork app as well as Lightning Network, and then you can go to the lightning.network site. If you need a Lightning wallet, same thing as y'all's, just a list of them. I still have some placeholder text in there. But essentially, you can get rid of this, and this is just a list of jobs that people have, and you see that the types right now are surveys only. And there's lots of them, but I'm going to go through the flow. So if you're signing up or you're logging in, it's just email and password. So I'm just going to sign in here. And so you get your little profile there. So in order to create a survey or post a job, you need to submit something. So this is called test survey. I can give it a description. I can give it a due date. So usually things need to be done at a certain point. If that due date is passed, the job is incomplete. And that gets me to how do we refund people? That's a task for later on. And you can charge whatever you want. So in this case, I'm going to say, the person who responds to this will earn 999 Satoshis. So you get next, and this is some question, answer 1. And you can change even the A, B, C's, and D's to 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want. Ideally, you'll be able to add more options and potentially even text fields, so it's not just multiple choice. And you can add more questions as you wish, but for the demo, I'm just going to create one. At this point, you get this nice loading screen. You're able to see your QR code and pay with mobile apps. You can copy it. You can also just click the Lightning, and it's been mentioned a couple times. The URI, automatically hits an app that you have installed in your system. So if I click, Zap automatically picks it up, and I pay it. So I'm going to actually do this so you see. So as soon as I pay, successful, it automatically triggers it, and your job is posted so other people can see it. So if I were another user, I can go here and browse through and say, okay, I see this one, Chaincode residency, 999. So I see some description about it. There's 3 questions, the payment, and the due date. It's about 2 hours, so I make the cut. So I can start it. I see some information about it. Questions 1, 2, and 3. Is Lightning good? Of course. Do you own Bitcoin? Of course. And token, please. And you're able to submit, right? As soon as you submit, you get this nice flow, and you say, congratulations, you finished this survey, you earned that money. If I go to more jobs, I can keep on browsing and continue doing and earning some cash, and I can also see my balance. So if I go to my account, this is a user. Again, I've done tons of testing, that's why I have more funds. But I've completed 27 jobs, I have 6 active ones, and I have this money. Eventually we need to introduce withdrawals. If I scroll through and I find that one specific survey, which should be the last one, I can see results. So I'm the creator of that survey, so I can see the results for it. Right now there's only 1 respondent to that survey. Ideally, you'll be able to say, I want 100 people to answer at the most, and then this pay amount will be divided up into that number. And then the number of questions, and then the breakdown. People who create surveys want to gather data from the respondents. And right now, this is not calculating things yet. I want to add some charts, and I want to add the ability to say, question 1B is the correct answer. How many people got it correct? How many people got it incorrect? Some questions are not meant to be correct. It's just gathering data. So there's a lot to expand there. So this is kind of the results page. And if you go to a job that has already been completed, you'll see that, oh, that's not completed. You'll see that it'll be, this job has been completed, no one else can tackle that. So this is kind of the flow. There's a lot to be built upon it. I think it's a great use case. Whenever I introduce withdrawals, people now have 3,000 Satoshis. They can either create jobs or surveys with that money, or they can also withdraw and start entering to using Satoshi's Place or Conway's Place or all the other tools that we've seen today. So that is Lightwork. Where is it? And so next steps, like I mentioned, multiple responders per survey. I think that's key. I don't know any survey that you expect only 1 responder to answer. Implementing withdrawals so that you get actually end-to-end, back and forth. You're able to submit, as well as refunds. That could be something that's key there. Checks and validations. There's no client-side checking right now. You could write a bot and just go through each and all of the surveys, and you earn all that money. I mentioned already, but further data analysis would be great, so that creators of surveys are able to see, gather that data, how many people answered correctly, how many incorrectly, a bunch of charts. Essentially, they just want data. After that, I would love to put it on testnet. This is running on reg test on my machine. Testnet, I could probably ship it before doing all of these checks. But for mainnet, I definitely want to add some unit and end-to-end testing, especially given that I'm behaving sort of like an escrow for some funds. And so that seems like a complicated job. And then iterate on more job types. I mentioned it's micro tasks, but right now I only have surveys. Another type that I think of binary completion would be tests for code. So you write your code implementation, and you describe your tests. As soon as the tests pass, then you're able to earn that money. Or vice versa, you write the tests and someone else writes the implementation. And so that's kind of the flow of Lightwork. Easy, simple, but a great intro to Lightning Network and how to earn money through it. Compensating people for their work, earning money another way. So thanks to Chaincode, John and James and the whole team, to all the speakers. I definitely learned a lot more than I thought I would. I read a ton of documentation before coming here, and you guys are awesome. Like, I learned so much this week. So yeah, that's Lightwork.
As a user who submits a job, how I would be sure of the quality of the response?
How do you?
How would I be sure of the quality of the response?
The quality of the responses?
Yeah. Basically, as a...
Right. So I think down the line there's a way to segment, segment to say, I'm trying to reach people in this demographic region or aged, X to Y. I tried to make it privacy preserving, so I don't even have names of people, but we could implement, ages, demographic location and all that, so you can segment and say, as a creator of a survey, I would like to target New York users from, 20 to 40 years old. But yeah, that's, something down the line that I need to work on. Sure.
Would this model work with like is there anything about the lighting aspect of it that would prevent you from doing more of a Amazon Mechanical Turk, like let them embed an iframe and they can determine what the success criteria is?
Right, yeah. I feel like you could definitely do that. I need to work on the architecture. Like I said, I hacked this together in a week. I think there's a lot to be done there, especially in the back-end business logic. But I think it's a good proof of concept. And then, there are tons of ideas that I can build upon. So, giving an embeddable widget sort of thing could be great, yeah. Renee?
Why did you opt for the service having the funds? Like, I mean, the people who put out the survey could basically reimburse the people who take the survey directly, right?
Yeah, so I think it would be harder if you're doing one survey. You're almost having to, keep people on in the sense that I would have to create channels through me and to other people. And so I don't know that it would work with 100, let's say you need 100 responders. Would 100 people connect directly to their node, or would it route through mine? Right, exactly. So maybe I just decided to it would be easier to implement. Maybe it would be this way, so I decided to go this route. But as it progresses, I could definitely implement something like that. Thank you.